Well, today is the first day of the Republican National Convention.
The event is partially online and partially in Charlotte, North Carolina. Like we did at the beginning of last week's Democratic National Convention, we're talking once again with Madison College Political Science Chair Maurice Shepard about what to expect this week.
But first, we asked him if the Democrats accomplished what they wanted to do.
I think they did. It was a new experience having an all-virtual presidential nomination convention. But there were some, again, highlights in terms of clear speeches, showing once again the diversity of the party. There's some criticism of the DNC because some would argue that they didn't really provide clear direction in terms of policy or details in terms of their policy platform. So overall, it seemed to be a win, but there's still some criticism.
Yeah, and following up on that, the tone of the DNC was one of unity and empathy, positivity. And as you said, they received some criticism because it was high on emotion and low on policy. So what do you expect the tone of the RNC to be?
Well, looking at their agenda, which is very fluid at this point, the word is that they want to be more positive. A different, compared to 2016, for then, once again, the nominee Trump, at that convention, they could be very prospective in that President Trump did not have a record in government for anyone to look at and evaluate. This is different. In 2020, now he has a record, 4 years in office, and it has to be a combination not only of being prospective, what will we do in the next 4 years, but then also what have we done in frame these last, once again, 3.5 years in a more positive way, again, in terms of retrospective. So I think it will be a mix, but the overall strategy seems to be try to be positive.
And their platform, they're not even voting on a new one. They're just going to use the one from 2016. Is that surprising?
That's a new one. Again, a number of arguments for the RNC. They make the argument that nothing would really change. So why go through again sort of the additional work of really coming up with a new policy platform? And actually, in a number of interviews that President Trump has had in the past few days, he's made it clear that he's going to stick to the same game plan. I think what will be new, or what we will see in higher levels of intensity, will be his attacks on China. Again, the reusing the previous platform, a number of the same points will be made, but I think you'll see an uptick in terms of President Trump and the RNC's attack on China, and particularly China as it relates to technology.
Do these conventions, we talk about this every time we see you, do these conventions matter? Do they move the needle? Do they change anybody's mind? And does anybody in the age of COVID and the pandemic and a virtual convention get a bump out of this?
Well, traditionally, the conventions are really for sort of the hardcore base of your party, and then there will be those that will look in with interest to see what's going on. I think it's a mix. It can once again solidify your base, but it can also open the door for those, depending on the type of convention that you want to run. It can open the door to once again maybe have a moderate maybe vote with you. So, for example, I think for the DNC, their target audience really was sort of the moderate voter, the moderate conservative, someone who might flip and vote Democratic. For the RNC, it's the opposite. They're hunkering down on their base. So it really depends on the actual party, their agenda, and what they see is necessary to win the next election.
Is just catering to the base enough to win the election?
Yes, because it happened in 2016. If combined with a strategy of demobilization on the other side. So, for example, for the Republicans in 2016, they not only, once again, focused really hard on their base, but they were also able to, with additional help, they were also able to demobilize some segments of the Democratic voting base that did not show up in large, sufficient numbers. And that allowed President Trump to win in the Electoral College, states like Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and Michigan.
Well, 71 days till Election Day. Here we go.
Here we go. That's right.
Here we go.
Thanks for being with us again. We'll talk to you soon.
Maurice, great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.